How's it going today, guys? My name is Joshua Mashlin, and what we're gonna do today is I'm starting a series called Road to World Championship. Essentially, what we're gonna do is we're gonna touch on various different topics, from amateurs to pro, from pro points to seedings to how to become a pro, what you're gonna do at the World Championships, how does the money work, how does the tournament work, etc., etc. And today, what we're gonna talk about is this simple question: Is competing at the World Championship considered being a professional player, or do you only consider people professional players as if they're in their respective region pro leagues? So North America, we have the ESL Halo Championship Series Pro League. Okay, 8 teams in there. So that's 8, 16, 24, 32 players that you could possibly consider pro. But the reason this question arises is regardless of what happens in 2 seasons that we host a year for the Pro League, regardless of what happens in those, they have zero effect on what actually happens on the road to championship. And why is that? Why do players compete in these leagues if the world championship is a completely different thing? Like if I'm putting in hours upon hours of my own personal time, scrimming, practicing, being on for my matches, for that to have zero effect for the championship series is a little weird. I personally think that League of Legends and Smite have it down pat. If you're in the Pro League, you compete during the season and into a playoff season. In the playoffs, the top teams from the playoffs earn spots at World Championship. Makes sense. Pretty easy. The path to road to championships is easy. Amateur, semi-pro, pro, championship. Pretty simple, pretty easy. But some people are a little confused on what we're actually calling pros. So there's 3 options for what people are considering pros. There's people that are competing in the Pro League, which are 32 players on the top 8 teams. Okay. You have the old definition of what people called pro was when you go to a tournament and you place top 8 or top 12 or top 16, some people considered you a pro because you paid the money. And then you have people competing currently, possibly going to compete at this year's 2017 Halo World Championship. So who do you consider a pro? I looked up the definition, which I'm going to pull up right here. Um, and there are a couple things that might help you determine who you personally consider a pro. And so one of the definitions on here says engaged by persons receiving financial return. So how are they receiving this financial return? Okay, you have salaries, you have tournament winnings, you have contracts, and then you have streaming. I would consider anybody doing any of those 4 things professional competitors or professional streamers, depending on person streaming. So, but then you have people with conflicting ideas. You have teams like the current Team Allegiance roster, which is Spartan, commonly the Noxide, and Spectre. Do you consider them pro? They're not in the pro league. They were. Spartan and commonly were on Team Liquid. The Noxide was previously on the squad. But do you consider them pro since they're not in the pro league? I do. Spartan was the H2A Breakout Player of the Year. They are obviously contracted by Team Elite. And if they wanted to stream, people would watch them because they are professional players. But some people don't agree with that because you watched the event, you saw some of the casters say that they were a top AM team. Granted, most of them did mention that they were in the Pro League, but they now consider them top amateur players. I wouldn't consider the top amateur players because these teams have potential to be at the World Championship. These rosters, they place top 8, have a potential to be at the World Championship. North America has 7 slots. They place 7th, 8th, so they could potentially be at the World Championships competing for $1 million+. And I would consider them pro players. There's also teams like Panda, which have Naded on it. Naded's been around since Halo 3, I believe. Probably Halo 2. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I would never consider him an amateur player. There's players like Ryan, who wasn't even at the tournament, who I would also consider a professional player. So, who are you guys considering professional players? Do they have to be in the pro league? Are they anyone making salary? Are they anyone making a financial return? Are they anybody that's going to be at Worlds? There's a second definition here that particularly piqued my interest. It said having a particular profession as a permanent career. So, do we have players in the Halo scene that are making this permanent careers? There are some people that are doing that. Again, we'll mention Spartan. Spartan dropped out of college. Spartan is a player for Allegiance and getting salaried, I assume. You have players like Ninja, where all he does is stream video games and play Halo. He went to the tournament under Luminosity. They placed fairly decent, and I would consider him a professional player because he does it for a living. All his money comes from being a professional gamer, regardless of what the game is. So the question I'm going to propose to you guys is, who do you believe are professional players? You can leave in the comments below who you decide. Are they people in the Pro League? Are they people competing at Worlds? Or are they people that earn money competing in this game? My personal opinion is this. If you are earning money from this game, regardless of the amount, I believe that you're a professional player. Because it takes a company to pay somebody to compete. If the company is paying you, then you're a professional. Because you don't go to work and just decide to make burgers or sell video games or sell clothes or do whatever it is you do for nothing. Go to work, you get paid. If you're getting paid, you're professional. I don't go to work. I'm a security officer. I don't go to work and do nothing and get paid zero money and not be a professional. I go to work, I get paid, I have a license for it, so I am a professional security officer. Same thing, I believe, crosses over to esports. If you're getting paid by a company to do a certain thing, which is competing, you're a professional player. But seeing how this is a show, my opinion isn't the only opinion. If you have a different opinion, leave it down in the comments below. There's my Twitter right here. You guys can follow me on Twitter. Tweet me any questions you guys have. I'll feel free to answer any questions you have. And I'll see you guys next time.